Welcome to Blue Eagle 40. In this 7th episode, we've got 4 guests lined up for you. First and foremost, we've got Migoy Lizada, my fellow Atenean professor and die-hard Atenean, to talk about that game against the UP Maroons yesterday. After that, we've got Ateneo Lady Eagles Danica Jose and Cara Buendia to talk about their being 0-5, but with some silver linings on the horizon. Lastly, we've got swimming prodigy Axel Ngui to talk about this year's campaign. And, well, there's going to be a whole lot more because we're going to also be talking about UST when we come back here in your source for all Ateneo sports. Welcome back to Blue Eagle 40. Our first guest in today's episode is a very good friend of mine, diehard Atenean, someone who writes one of the funniest columns about the Ateneo de Manila Blue Eagles, none other than Migoy Lizada. Alam mo, Migoy, dapat kasama ka. I had you lined up for that end of the first round special heading into the second round, but nevertheless, it's good to have you here in Blue Eagle 40.
Thank you.
Migoy, you might also want to introduce yourself to all Ateneans out there para mas makilala ka pa. What do you teach? Okay. And tell them more about that column. Baka may sample ka pa dyan.
No, wala ka na. I'm Migoy Lizada. I graduated here from the Ateneo in 2007. And right now, I'm teaching English and Literature in the university. And on the side, I moderate the Facebook group Overheard at the Ateneo. And then I turned it into a column title for our sports website, for the sports portion of our website, Overheard at the Ateneo Gallery. And my focus is not so much about basketball analysis as it is about the fan culture. I think that was my approach. That's always been my approach for because it's all about the players, but I also want to focus on the fans.
That's right. Migoy, can we expound a little bit on that Overheard at the Ateneo? What can... Personally, I find it very interesting because these are actual conversations or quotes or statements made by students, by professors, and everyone who's related to the Ateneo. What prompted the creation of this Overheard at the Ateneo?
It started when I was a student at the National University of Singapore, where I actually took my master's of studies. And there are actually a lot of Overheard websites out there.
Yes, that's true.
Overheard at the newsroom. And then so the students at NUS created that website, that Facebook page, Overheard at the National University of Singapore. And ako parang, I was reading through the post and ang corny naman ito.
Masyadong ordinary.
Oh, masyadong ordinary. So sabi ko, I think we can do better.
Okay.
So I made that Facebook page out of boredom and in a sense out of homesickness because I missed the school, I missed the environment. So it was my way of trying to getting in touch with my alma mater again. And then nagulat lang ako na, I made that Facebook group. I invited around 50 people lang. Tapos when I woke up from my siesta, I remember it was a Sunday afternoon, mga 800 members, and by the end of the week, it was in the thousands already. And then, so it became a place for students to share their experiences. And what I like about it is even alumni from different generations and different batches actually started sharing their photos. Ito yung campus dati. Something like that. And it was a concept that I translated ultimately to UAAP. What do you hear in the gallery? Yung mga hirit na mga tao na medyo hindi naman masyadong heckling.
Okay.
Even mga banners, diba?
Sige nga, very, very quickly. At the top of your head, name the top 3 Overheard quote statements in the site.
In the site, and the website.
In the website, yeah.
Yung isang Spanish class, diba? One of my favorite, yung Spanish class, a student stood up, tapos tinanong siya ng prof, ¿A dónde vas? Where are you going?
Yeah.
And then sabi ng estudyante, Lalavas. Lalavas. Or similarly sa French class naman to, Professor, can I go to the washroom? Tapos sabi ni prof, yes, but you have to ask me in French. Siyempre, hindi na alam ng estudyante, so he was like, oui. And the third one...
Very creative, ha?
Diba? Oui. And then the third one, ano ba yung third one?
Teka, pinalabas mo siya.
No, French class to.
Oo nga, pinalabas mo siya ng prof
na. Wala naman akong na-incident na may nagkaroon ng problem.
Okay.
Problem. The third one, psychology class naman, sabi ng professor, give me an example of a habit. Okay. Sabi ng estudyante, Frodo. Akala niya hobbit. So parang, mga ganun, those things. Those things. So,
all right. Well, that was funny, but was yesterday's win over UP funny?
Because it was fun. It was fun. I did something yesterday actually na medyo nakinahihiyan ko, pero it was
Sige nga, bakit?
at the end of the game, everybody was shouting. Parang we won a championship nga. I recorded it. Parang if you take the video out of context, parang one of our 4P or 5P wins. Okay. And then after that, diba, the traditional Go Ateneo cheer at the end, so quiet mo na. Then I started out of happiness, diba? I started jumping up and down the patron section.
Oh, umuga yung part na yan, diba?
Oh, exactly. So parang nandun si Father Ben, nandun si Dr. Sarmiento. And then I started shouting, kami una kakanta, kami una kakanta. I miss singing first, at least as far as this season is concerned. And people started looking at me, and they were laughing naman. Parang na-realize ko, you know those moments of euphoria.
That's right.
It was a fun win. And props to UP as well, actually, for putting up a good fight, you know.
Migoy, heading into yesterday's match against UP, it was a must-win scenario for us.
That's right.
A loss would have dropped us at the cellar because by virtue of win over the other, UP would be on top of us. But that win over UP puts us back in the thick of things.
Right.
Your thoughts about yesterday's game?
Actually, you know, ang nakakatawa nito is people were actually very light about it. They were like, for example, in my case, sabi ko, you know what? Feel ko the battle for the top is too mainstream already. So sabi ko,
para mas interesting
let's come up with something new. So let's call it battle for the bottom, di ba? Let's call it battle for the. Let's make things interesting. So actually there were a lot of excitement. You know, syempre there was pressure, pero for me and my friends, parang natuwa naman kami. Like even yung mga free throws, nakaganon na kami whenever somebody misses a free throw, kami parang okay. Something like na parang, oh no, ganito na naman tayo. But it was something that, you know, parang championship level na yun. And everybody was, there were a lot of UP fans this time around. They were louder. Yes. They were more maingay, if you want to be corny about it. But it was a generally fun game, actually. Syempre may pressure, but we were there to support the team. And that was what mattered.
Migoy, yesterday was sort of like the breakout game for Kiefer Aven, at least for this season.
Yeah.
Pero nakikita mo sa simula, medyo nangangapa. Tipong layup, nami-miss niya. But overall, your thoughts about Kiefer, is he close to being back or medyo 50% pa lang siya?
Syempre, I'm not much of an expert sa as far as basketball is concerned. Nakikita ko naman na may mga kulang pa. Okay, but I think that classic case of I think it's the classic case of the body, the spirit is willing but the flesh is not that cooperative. But nakikita mo naman sa facial expression niya na but I think that it was Gretchen who actually wrote who shared something on Facebook about this interview. Nakikita mo naman talaga na he really wants this. He really wants. And what I really like about Kiefer, really, aside from is his attitude towards it. Like Kiefer was my student actually, and then before the Ateneo LaSalle game, I actually sent him a text message. I think a few hours or even a few minutes. Parang I told him na it will pain us to see you wearing jogging pants lang later sa game because this is something that you want.
Yes.
Diba? It's the dream of any college student to actually play in a game as intense as an Ateneo LaSalle game. True. And then the next lang niya, parang okay lang yan, sir. Everything happens for a reason. And for me, it's really that attitude, that never say die attitude na parang, sige, let's just take it for what it is. And we saw that, na parang binigay lang niya yung kaya niya. And I look forward to, the next few games where I know he will actually come out stronger and better.
Okay. How about JP Iram and Frank Golia? Yesterday's match was the first this season where they played the longest minutes and they were free of fouls.
Right.
Migoy, my question therefore is, sa tingin mo, ganong ka-importante itong dalawang to na hindi sila in foul trouble for us to be able to compete for a Final Four slot?
Siyempre ako, as I've said, I'm not exactly much of a sports analyst or a basketball. But I think that any spectator, right, any spectator with layman's knowledge of the basketball vocabulary can actually tell you that we really need big people, right? We really need big people to rebound, to as we cheered to get that ball among other things, especially since there are actually teams, right? There are actually teams who who make use of big men, for example. Like, I think for example, UST, right?
Yeah, sila Karim Abdul, di ba?
Yeah,
Anjon Mariano.
So I think we need those people to sort of match up.
Another guy who was also crucial and instrumental in yesterday's win was Chris Newsom.
Oh, right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, nasan yung alley-oop slam, yung pasa ni Wami Chongson sa kanya for that emphatic rally killer? 1 to 10.
9.99. 9.99999. No, kasi, I would like to think that that was what we call the dagger, right?
Right.
It stopped, right? It stopped the rally of VP. And at the same time, more than, giving us more 2 points, I think it was a very good kind of exclamation point. As in, bam! Okay, we got this, diba? Something like that. And it really, it really woke the crowd up. As in, after that shot, everyone was like, all right, we got this. So I think it was a very, very important shot in terms of points, and more importantly, I think it was an important shot in terms of raising the morale.
Okay.
Going into the finals rematch this Saturday.
That's true. Okay, speaking of finals rematch, one guy who was crucial in last year's season 75 win was Wami Chongson. Against UP, 6 assists, 9 points and 6 assists. But he was the maestro orchestrating that game. Your thoughts about Wami Chongson?
Yeah, he's the captain, right? So I think that is a very important asset to the team, especially when he's into the game, right? When he's into the game. So I think that it's very, very important to have this guy around, and it's very, very important for him to have his game, to play his game, as far as especially since now every win counts, diba? Every win counts not just for our team but for the rest, diba? I think we are now beginning to see FEU, right, pulling away from the pack. But the rest are, we're gravitating towards each other. So I think every win counts, and I think the captain should take us all the way.
Migoy, when you were here in school, you saw Ateneo struggling, pero laging nasa Final Four.
Yes.
Tapos, even after graduation, nasa championship itong Ateneo. Has this season been difficult for you to watch as a die-hard Blue Eagle fan?
Not necessarily. Difficult initially because tayong lahat actually medyo sananay tayo sa wins among other things. But I think my undergrad experience is actually helped me understand na
like 06 against UST.
Sorry?
Like 2006 against UST.
Yes, that was my senior. But last chance, I have to graduate with the championship. Nakakatawa nga na after I graduated, doon pa tayo nanalo. Parang I think malas ata ang match ko. Prior to entering, kasi I came into that in 2003. So, defending champion tayo. And then when we left, doon pa nanalo yung championship. Kami ba yung malas? But yeah, actually, I think that it is also a good experience for the community na maka-experience ng talo, but not too much. Okay? Because it really tells you, it really separates, so to speak, the real fans from the so-called bandwagoners. Na parang
that's
ganun.
right.
So I think now, okay, and that's one of the things that made me happy as far as yesterday's game was concerned. Puno, but people really watched. Diba? People really watched, and as what I said in my article, nandito kami para sa inyo. I think that's one of the things that I always tell the players, yung mga textmate ko na players, na nandito pa rin kami. Okay, nandito pa rin kami. There are people who will abandon ship, pero as far as my group, as far as the other alumni people are concerned, nandito pa rin kami.
Nandito pa rin. Okay, earlier you mentioned about this coming Saturday's match against UST. Very, very important. Another loss, parang hirap umambol But we have a 2-game losing streak. Phil Oil, Philippine Collegiate Champions League, natalo tayo sa finals. Your thoughts initially about this matchup against UST?
It's going to be difficult, diba? Even without Jeric Teng, diba? I think UST really wants this, and we've always had close games against UST, diba? And in UAAP, parang we always win by like 1 or 2 points usually, diba? And then Pido, I think, is very hungry for this, and the rest, they're all actually hungry for this. So I think it's going to be a very close and exciting game. Okay, I will not drink coffee before this. Okay, because I think pag free throw nakaganon na ako. And I think it's going to be a tight game. So and I think it's very, very important for the supporters actually to be there, to come out and support the team.
Because you want to show, pull up that shirt and for everyone to see, we never take shortcuts. Right. That's a huge statement. Ano take mo dyan, pare?
Actually, ang dami natin mga statement shirts ngayon, di ba? We have Get Blued talking about prove them wrong. We never take shortcuts. So I think that the long cut is not necessarily, the long process is not necessarily the bad process. Diba? I think the longer route actually allows us to experience, because the shortcut is actually you're making references to traveling. Diba? There's a shortcut, there's a shorter way to get to Eastwood or Mega Mall or something. But if you take the longer route, actually, it means that you get there for a longer period of time. But more importantly, you get to see more.
So it's the journey also.
Diba? You get to see more. Na parang because mas matagal yung biyahe mo, mas marami ka nakikita. And I think that all of these experiences, injuries, really thinking about what does it mean to say win or lose is the school we choose. I think that these are the sights to see. These are the sights to see that will, that will help build the character not only for the team, our players, but more importantly for the fans. I've always told people that when they watch the game, they may not necessarily be players, but they're also part of the game.
That's true.
And that will hopefully build their character.
Okay, Migoy, would you like to invite Ateneans out there, also the bandwagon fans? Invite mo na rin sila because this is a massive game with huge implications for either team, Ateneo and UST. So invite the fans to come and watch the match this Saturday at Ateneo.
Okay, so this Saturday, wala namang pasok. Diba? Wala namang pasok. So if you have time, okay, and maybe, you give time, actually, because the players will be there, the coach will be there, USC will be there, they will be ready, and I think we should be ready too. Because until, we win the championship or until we are eliminated whichever stage of the tournament that will be, we are still the defending champions. And we have to defend it until the last man.
I couldn't have said that better. Migoy Lizada, my colleague here in Ateneo and a die-hard fan. Thank you for being on Blue Eagle 40. When Blue Eagle 40 returns, we're going to be having the Lady Eagles Danica Jose and Cara Buendia also talk about this trying season kung saan tayo 0-5 at the bottom with UP just one game ahead. So keep it right here at Blue Eagle 40. Galing, pare.